Privileged Cavemen.
Welcome to it.
Our first podcast, even though Austin is incapacitated right now.
Yes. This might be our second podcast.
This might be
in the future.
This might be in the future. It might be our second podcast release, but just know this is the first Privileged Cavemen podcast.
Yes. In a very historic time right now, I feel like there's some crazy shit going on.
Yeah, we got Josh Rice right here. Josh, say hi.
How we doing, y'all?
What's good, Josh? Josh lives right downtown in Denver, and there was recently, I forgot the officer's name and the man who was killed by the officer in Minneapolis, but
George Floyd.
George Floyd
Was killed.
These are,
Right.
Stop fucking squeaking so much. These are unprecedented times. There's riots all over the country, and we're just chilling in our basement, doing our podcast, kind of reflect on everything, watching the volleyball players in the field hanging out. It's very interesting how different things are. Like shit's going fucking wild downtown, and there's people over here in our field playing volleyball.
Yeah, pretty much. I called Matt and I said, yeah, I'm probably going to come over because there's going to be a curfew going into effect about, 40 minutes from now at 8 o'clock.
Sketchy.
I'm going to come hang out over here because my girlfriend's at work and I don't feel like just hanging out by myself downtown 2 blocks from a riot.
We're in a safe place over here, for sure.
This is our safe space.
Come hang out with my friends and... when my girl gets off of work, I'm going to go figure out what I'm going to do about her. Shit.
Good thing you're strapped at home.
Yeah,
honestly.
I just hope that it hasn't escalated to the point where it starts moving south of where they're at.
It's looking like it, though. Shit, man.
I'm literally only 2-3 blocks away from where they're protesting / rioting and throwing tear gas paint grenades.
Last night we had a friend over and he's talking to friends, talking about going to the protest and going to be involved. I have zero interest.
I'm sorry, guys, but I don't want to put myself in a hostile situation. I'm just too old for it. I'm not living.
It sounds privileged, but it's like there are other.
Dude.
Oh, god damn, Josh Rice.
How dare he receive a phone call during our first podcast?
Yeah, but things are crazy. We were just talking about the curfew, and we're just at such a weird point right now, with technology. It's so creepy having, the government just send out mass messages to the public throughout your phone. And it's just this thing vibrates and it's just telling us, controlling us, stay home. It's just.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We had the COVID thing and we've been quarantined for over 2 months now, and things are finally starting to open up. And then this happens. You see pictures and videos all over the country of police stations being burned down, cars being burned, things being flipped over, and I feel the unrest in the air almost. At the same time, we are.
And people have been cooped up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So people just want to go out in the first place, and this happens, and it's just craziness.
No, it's absolutely insane. and we're locked down safe here in our basement, but I don't know. I just have this feeling like something very big is about to happen, whether for good or for bad.
They burnt down the police station. That's insane.
Yes, well, exactly. I remember seeing have you heard of the Watts riots? It was
yeah.
I forget exactly when it was. I could do some more research on that, but can you look it up?
I'll look it up.
Watts riots, but I remember my dad showed me videos of Chicago of people throwing Molotov cocktails at buildings, and just mass riots and a lot of violence. And these videos that I'm seeing now that everyone has a phone, everyone has a video camera in their pocket, it's insane. I mean, I can't believe how crazy it is out there.
Imagine the footage we would have during all the revolutions back in the day if they had phones. We haven't seen shit.
That's a very good point. So, imagine if you had people with iPhones in their pocket during the Civil
slavery
War.
Or some shit. That's fucked, dude. You don't even want to see that.
No, that's very true.
But where you're safe, if you guys feel unsafe and you live in Denver, just hit us up. You have a commune here.
Well, that's what's interesting to me. Like I said, in one, just how different things can be in various sectors of the country. I mean, obviously the cities are going to the places where there's more population, there's more people, things are bound to happen. But
that's another thing. Like, there's getting to a point where there's so many people. Things like this it's gonna be way worse with more individuals involved.
Well, see, when you blow this whole thing up from like in a 3D perspective, you got all these different angles, right? You got all these people on this planet growing exponentially, right?
Yes.
And now we've got these exponential problems that are happening, right? We've got this virus that we've seen that can mutate, right?
Yeah, it's so crazy.
And now we've seen all these other people, and we've seen mindsets that are mutating. You know what I mean? Like people are conjoining together, and now it's really interesting to see what will happen when, I don't know, 5,000 to 1 is. I think that's what the statistic is. 5,000 people to 1 officer is. You know, how do they intend to keep people?
Well, that's what my boy, my friend Chris Quaglia, shout out. That's what we were talking about earlier, like mob mentality. The things that people do as an individual, they would never do on their own.
Tribalism.
Like, exactly. But you get in a group of people start doing things that are absolutely insane and out of character.
You do have outliers in there, though, too, who will be leaders to do insane, out of character things.
That is also true. That's scary. That's scary in itself, because then you have a leader type person that's gonna, whatever the revolution is, lead the revolution, or like fight back. But like, and then you have people that are kind of, I don't know, vulnerable or easily persuaded, and they pick up on these things, and basically they're looking for something to follow, and they're like, okay, well, this makes sense to me. And then now you have people looting.
And it's real
fighting police officers.
Easy to break shit.
I don't know how you start punching a police officer and not expect to just get shot, killed.
That's true.
It's really a wild time we're living in here.
Yeah. Think about what's happening right now. Like, something actually bad happens, and when we talk about tribalism and people doing crazy things and mobs, look at Black Friday shopping. People are fucking insane, dude. They're nuts.
People punching
each other apart.
Yes.
For dolls.
At fucking Walmart.
For dolls.
Fucking check yourself, guys. Fucking retarded.
No, you're right. They're literally punching each other in the face over a flat screen
like
TV.
50-year-old fat women. I've seen people wrestling.
Not to get dark, but like there's some movie, I forget what it's called, but it's about a woman who got raped in a bar by like 15 men on a pinball machine.
Oh yeah, you told me about this.
Yeah, and like they, it's a true story. There's a movie about it.
Is that cool? One of these? Chug.
Yeah. We need an ashtray. So yeah, but they researched the backgrounds of all these people that raped this poor woman. Like a bunch of them, and they're all on paper good people with families, with children that, again, on their own would probably never have done something like that. But when they're in this mob scene, a group of people, your brain literally like switches off, and you do things that you would never do.
That's such a sad story for a girl to go through that, honestly. All because mob.
No,
it's crazy.
It's crazy. But, going back to what's happening with all the riots and in Denver right now, like, that's why I just have no interest in being around those scenarios, because
that could turn not on your side very quickly.
Yeah, I mean,
you could be in
I heard some story,
wrong time, something happens.
Someone said earlier a story of someone started shooting up one of the protests.
Yeah, Friday, it was either Thursday or Friday afternoon around 4:30. There was about they're saying there was about 9 shots taken at the Capitol building in Denver.
This is in Denver.
This was in Denver.
Wow.
At the protest, someone came and shot up the protest. So,
Colorado's strapped too. There's hella guns here.
There's a lot of weapons out here in Colorado.
There absolutely are.
But you know what? It's interesting though, because you don't see It's not like Chicago. When you think weapons in Chicago, you think weapons in the hands of criminals.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Out here in Colorado, you think weapons in the hands of law-abiding citizens.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people in the mountains who just hunters, just sportsmen in general. They enjoy the sport of shooting.
Shooting guns is really fun.
It is really fun. Yeah, I mean, like, what the hell? It's in a small explosion contained. The words of the gun are, "Don't point a gun at something you're not willing to destroy." Guns destroy things. You know what I mean?
That's like my uncle always told me: never punch someone unless you're absolutely sure you can get away with it. But it's true. You point a gun at someone, you better be ready to, or it's something.
Yeah.
If you're gonna
you can't take that shot back.
There's no taking that backwards. Like that sets a precedent for the level of whatever you're doing.
Yeah, but drive-bys are so fun, dude. I love doing them.
Tell me about your drive-by experiences.
Drive-by? Well, I did one last night. Didn't go well. Didn't hit anything.
I held the gun.
I don't
sideways.
try to if a person's just walking down the street, I might shoot at him, but I just try to kill whatever I see, honestly. Animals.
Kind of like
people.
What was that, Oregon Trail? You ever play Oregon Trail?
Way back in the day?
Yeah. And the only fun part about it was hunting and killing the animals. Yeah. It's we just give us a shooting video game instead.
Hunting's so weird. I mean, we've talked about this before, but hunting's scary to do, but it was sad to me, but you appreciate it so much more getting that meat from an animal. Hunting, and compared to commercial farming, it's such a better way to do it, honestly. It's just being a better person. So when people hate on hunters, how are you going to survive without meat if you obviously want to eat meat compared to commercial farming?
Absolutely. One of my best friends, Dan, he has a hunting cottage in Wisconsin, I guess.
Yeah.
And they go hunt deer and whatnot. But we were up there, we were 12, 13, and his grandpa was like, "Hey, this bunny rabbit has been eating all of my vegetables in the garden and whatnot. So you guys can sit out with a .22, and if you see this bunny, you kill it."
Yeah.
So we're chilling out there. We're like, "Hell yeah, we're gonna, it's the first chance to do some hunting." Dan probably had done real hunting by then, but we're chilling, waiting to kill this bunny, and we finally see it. This bunny runs up to this garden, and Dan takes the first shot. I think he might have missed the first shot he took, but he takes another shot and hits the bunny, and the bunny starts running away, but you could tell it was injured.
Yeah.
And so I ran up and I had my gun and I put the kill shot on it.
Yeah.
And so we killed this bunny. Success. Grandpa's happy and whatnot, and we fucking look at each other and we both just start bawling. We're this feeling that you just took life from a creature.
Yeah. But the thing is, the people that hate on hunting, nature is so much more brutal. Just nature itself. We stop killing animals, those animals rip each other apart. They will eat their babies if they're running out of food in the cold. It is so much more brutal in their reality. We don't do shit.
We're gonna take a time out. Josh, you are welcome to text on your phone, but
I'm sorry.
No, it just looks.
There's a curfew. There's a curfew that's
text.
about to go in effect in about a half hour here in Denver.
Okay, it was the text was from your girlfriend.
Yeah.
So it was important.
Gotta take care of the lady.
I get it.
I'm an essential employee. Have been through the whole COVID thing, and I have my legal papers that say I can legally drive to and from work whenever, whatever.
Yeah.
So essentially, if I get stopped, I can just put these papers in the window. But she's freaking out because they're telling people they're going to give them $1,000 fine for being on the streets tonight out after 8 p.m. in Denver County. If you're out at all, you're not supposed to be on any thoroughway.
People are not going to buy to that. More people are going to come out now, I think.
And that's exactly what it is. I'm not someone you can tell what to do. But
that's where we're at.
And now you bring in now I've got to worry about the concern of my girlfriend and worry about making sure she's safe. So I have to go home at some point. But
It's true.
Well, of course.
No.
I truly feel though, like if let's say she got pulled over or something, be kind and respectful and say you're coming home from work and you're fine.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna
That's
happen.
out of your
If you
control.
treat
What are you gonna
people
do?
with decency, like. They're all they can do is tell you to go home. They're not going to.
But that's
tear
also
you
a
out
problem
of the
with
car and
cops.
be like, you're arrested on the spot because you were in a car. Like that would be police brutality.
Yeah.
In totality.
Well, that's the problem with cops is being disrespectful to them is not breaking the law, and they act like it's breaking the law, and then things escalate just because you're being disrespectful to them. I've been in that situation where I'm just like, fuck you, basically, and then guess what? They arrested me. Just because I'm being nice, they're, oh yeah, always a good guy.
Well, that's what's so funny. I was about to say,
my
like,
right to say fuck you, I don't
every
care.
experience I've ever had with a police officer, I've always just been extremely calm and kind and pretty honest. But I've gotten out of so many things I shouldn't have gotten out of because of this,
Yeah.
I truly
But that
feel
is not okay. Just because I'm not nice, what did I do? Like,
But again, you're dealing with a human being. I guess on paper,
That's a
yes,
problem.
you're right. But you're talking to a person. Think about if you're talking to a person who's not a police officer. You start to not be nice. They're going to do the same. You guys pull further from each other rather than meeting closer in the middle.
And it's so.
but the
tough
thing
because
is,
we
I
hold
won't
these
do
people
anything.
this-
They'll put their hands on me and put me in cuffs. They take it to a different level than I can, just being an asshole.
And we're holding them to this high level of scrutiny too. You know what I mean? Like, we're sitting out there now. There's these people who are voicing their anger and frustration that are, and now it's just directed at the cops. And the cops, they haven't even necessarily done anything. They're just there protecting everyone else from the people that are rioting and looting. And now they're facing this high level of scrutiny on how they behave and how they react. And because they're protesting, but
there's different types of
they
protesting.
have a life too. They are a living being.
Yeah.
Nobody's life is worth more than any one's person. So it's like, how do you mentally continue forward with, like, what are you doing? Why are we doing to this? Why we're all in this? Earth is a fucking sinking ship.
That's true.
And we're all on the fucking ship together.
Dude, yes. The best analogy I ever heard is it's like we're all in a speeding car, speeding towards a brick wall, and we're arguing over where to sit.
Yeah. We're all in this together. It's a matter of changing a culture.
Yeah.
This is a deeply seated, things like this happen, and it's a shame, and it's yet to be even determined of how it happened. Was the guy a racist? Does anybody fucking even know? Was he just doing his job?
Well, clearly he wasn't doing his job correctly.
Clearly it wasn't correctly. That's
and that's what we've been talking about. Is like this.
But like, where is all this extra? We're angry that this man is dead because someone wrongfully took his life. But there's all this extra anger, and it's like you're focusing your anger, your energy in the wrong direction.
Well, that's the thing. It's clearly not just that one event too. This is a build-up of many, many things leading up to this.
Yes, but then the thing about this, there's different rioters. Like, I could see throwing the wrench at the window. I could see being mad, but like stealing, what change is that going to bring? Are you just being a scumbag right now?
A cop killed someone. Let's go steal from Target.
Yeah.
And I've heard these arguments. Well, the corporations have influence, and they should take more action to make change, and therefore we're trying to show
South Park, throw a fucking festival for 9 days.
You know what we should do? We should throw a music festival and do a bunch of drugs and listen to music for 10 days in a row. That's going to change the world, I think. No, seriously, though.
I see there's definitely a percentage of that, but really that's not going to make any change, I'm telling you.
It'll make the change in someone's head sometime if they feel something strongly enough that they want to go out of the music festival and then do something in the world and change something. Yeah. But other than that, it's not really bringing much. Well,
I understand throwing the wrench. I forgot the analogy you made last night, but you understand breaking some shit and making a statement, like, and not stopping and making people hear you, but the stealing, burning shit down, people's businesses, like, this family works so hard, they have no correlation with the officer that killed this guy, and you're ruining these guys' businesses that worked so hard for.
No, absolutely.
That's not being a good person.
It's so funny.
No, it's a sad time to see this all.
Like, let's say I started a business and started doing well. Everyone would be like, man, I'm really proud of you. Good job. And let's say it got really big and it started doing really well.
Yeah.
And then it became a corporation, nationwide corporation.
Yeah.
Then, like, people start to, like, turn, like, oh, no, well, now you're doing too well. And then we're going to take from you because of that. And it's like, again, obviously, it's just so gray. Corporations employ so many people. They give people jobs. They give people the ability to have a job that wouldn't have existed if that company didn't exist.
And benefits,
so that's a good thing.
Benefits are multi-million-dollar packages for corporations.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
depending on how many employees they have, for sure.
We're talking big logistic numbers.
Yep. But think about, like, with riots like this, people are just breaking shit just around the area. So people are breaking businesses. What if the owner of that is like the biggest black rights activist that you can meet? Like, he's been funding shit.
There's so many levels
insane.
to it. Or like, what if not the owner? What if a bunch of employees that work in that company or something?
And now they're out of a job because it's fucking burned down.
Exactly. It's so, people want to make things so black and white, but there's so many consequences from every action taken that are unpredictable.
Well, the other thing I was thinking about this the other day was, now, all right, so George Floyd is dead, okay? Now we've got all this rioting, looting, all the damages, bills stacking up. When all this is said and done, there's gonna be a bill. There's gonna be a tally. It's gonna be a total. Yeah. And that, you know what that number is gonna be? That's gonna be the price of that man's life.
Yeah.
Because all of that is in response of what happened, and it maybe, like we said earlier, it was the tipping point. This isn't the first time.
This is clearly not the only event that has led to what's happening.
Because this is the apex moment of this right now, that's what his life is going to have a number on it. And I think that's wrong. You know what I mean?
Well, absolutely. And think about how many police officers do you think are in, and Army, National Guard, it sounds like now, are being paid by the government to
attack U.S. citizens.
Well, yes, that too.
Attack.
You're right, or just to be there.
Tear gas is an attack.
I'm wondering how many cops, nationwide, every city, hundreds of thousands are probably. How much money is that they're being paid? How much
overtime?
Tax money is being allocated right now to all the officers that are involved in this situation?
Police
That's
officers,
a huge number.
Ambulance. Service officers, transit, everything.
And then the repercussions afterwards, like you said, all the damage to buildings, all the companies that need to be hired to rebuild those things. Yeah. It's insane. The unrest? It's unprecedented. I have never seen anything like this in my life, for sure. And even with, again, it's all weird how it's connected. The COVID thing, we go to the liquor store and they're showing news images of places all over the world that are being locked down and how many deaths, and it's literally, I feel like I'm in a movie.
Strange times.
Yeah.
Look at our president. Like, what the fuck? We're going crazy.
I saw a headline last night, and I don't have any source on whether or not it's credible, but I saw it was like we're in a movie. They said 4 primates had broken out of a laboratory in India, and they were holding COVID-19 samples in their hands. Like, it was like about to be on Planet of the Apes.
That sounds insane.
I don't know the credibility of this article, but I saw multiple people tagged and linked in it, and I was like, Jesus, this.
Well, let's talk about this article, because we also live in a time that it's the craziest things are happening right now. But everything we see online, we don't even know if it's the truth or not, because there's so much fake news. It is fucked.
It really is.
But just be a good person, whatever. we have no control of what's going to happen in our lives.
Well, that's the thing, too.
Living every day and just being thankful, be a good person. That's the way to do it.
Yeah,
do unto others as you want done unto you. That's what my parents taught me.
That's a good way.
Don't fear tomorrow because anything could happen.
That's also very true.
No, absolutely. And like I said, just such an unprecedented time in the sense that I don't know. We're on lockdown.
How many months now?
No, we're off lockdown. We came off lockdown on Wednesday.
Okay, fair enough. But coming back, we've
now we're on lockdown again.
Now we're on lockdown. Yeah, curfews for me start. You guys thankfully don't live in Denver County. But Denver County curfew starts at 8:00.
But coming back to the idea, coming back to the idea that sparked the name of the podcast.
The government took my baby.
No, for real though. A privileged caveman.
Yeah.
We've been at home. I've been doing Zoom guitar lessons from my computer. You guys are getting good money from the government. They're taking care of you because you've worked hard in your jobs previously. And we get to focus on things that are important to us. Like, talk about the privilege that we feel right now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the unrest, the caveman aspect of society, like, that primal nature of everyone coming out right now, like with this mob mentality that we keep coming back. It's strange how it's all connected to me,
It's insane. Well, world's crazy. How's your guys' day today?
Well, for the past 48 hours, it's been fucking helicopters over my fucking apartment.
Is it loud as fuck?
It's it's pretty loud, and it's pretty constant, and.
Well, we're in the burbs up here, so
and we're here in Colorado. There's a lot of fucking hippies. All right.
Yes.
Goddamn hippies.
Goddamn hippies.
You know what? I feel safer here in Colorado than I would be were I living downtown LA.
Yes.
Or downtown
100%.
Chicago
or Minneapolis,
like Atlanta, or Louisville. But I'm still on edge. I'm 2 blocks, 3 blocks from where all this is going down. The other night, I've never been pepper sprayed. I've never had tear gas.
Nor have I.
But I swore on my life after they around 9:00 on Friday night or Thursday night they started firing tear gas to get them to disperse. I swore I could feel it in my house.
Damn.
I swore.
Really?
I literally my eyes teared little, not like it was like
something
crazy,
but
I felt like there was something, and
that shit spreads around in the air, man.
That's the thing. So, what we're attacking ourselves right now, and it's just crazy.
Everybody just love each other, man.
Is that the answer? Love it. No, it is.
It really is.
I totally agree. It sounds cliche and trite, but it is.
That's the answer.
I used to be someone who was very, very aggressive towards, and anything. It didn't matter what it was. But I learned as I grew up that the path of least resistance is much easier, and you can accomplish so much more.
Well, absolutely. I was going to say that earlier, like, talking about all the misinformation that's out there. Who literally has the time every day to put into making sure that every piece of information, that has to be your life if that's what you do.
Well, that's the problem.
And actually, it's funny you say that. There's a guy who's out there, and that's all he does. But that's it. He's taking it as his life role, right?
Yeah.
Right. So he goes into Wikipedia, and he's a Wikipedia editor, and he just edits all of Wikipedia.
Yeah. But the thing is, one guy, it's an impossible task because there's so much information.
Back to that exponential
anybody
population.
can make a website, post, become a news article, anything. It's untangible
and that can all
stop
be
that.
hacked too. That you can create servers. You can have people creating misinformation. There was an article. Some dude, he took a few hundred cell phones, and he dragged them in a fucking wagon down 290 in Chicago, and he created a traffic jam on Google. On Google Maps, because they saw all these phones moving so slowly. That's what they.
That is hilarious.
So
it just clicked what you meant.
You don't know what the information you really have to dig for what you're getting right now. You don't, unless it's hard factual. You got it on a book, published, something like that. It's tough to know what you're actually doing, and I hate that because I prefer to be a credible person.
Yeah,
I don't like to talk to people and talk about things that I don't know, because it just.
Well, the best you can do is just if someone asks you to input, to say I don't know much about that actually.
But
it's
there are
interesting.
things that are interesting me and that I don't know much about, or that I may have heard something about. And it bothers me that I can't know that I'm being factual. I have to put a disclaimer before I speak to someone saying, I saw this. I don't know what the credibility is, but here's my input on if it is an actual situation. And
well, that's the way.
thing.
That's the way to do it too. To put a disclaimer on it and say, I have not done the proper research into fact checking the credibility of the resource, but here is something I heard as a possibility. Let's talk about what the likelihood of it being true is, But just holding down convictions that something is for sure, that's where the danger comes in, I think.
I'm just going to make this satellite that just doses everybody at once, and then world's going to be tight, I promise you.
With electrical signals?
Yes. World would be a better place.
With the chips that they're going to implant in us after the mandatory COVID vaccination.
Mandatory COVID vaccination.
You're fucked up if you think I'm going to take
you know what? You got me fucked
you're
up
not
too, but
mandatory
I'm also not
injecting
anti-vax.
something.
Well, that's the thing. What about actual mandatory vaccinations? I agree with those.
I'm not anti-vax. If I go to take a trip to Africa, I'm gonna get the malaria shot. I'm gonna get the boosters.
I will do that, but you're willingly doing that.
You know what I mean? But all right, so
yes, people should have the right to choose. But
that's what I'm saying.
They should.
If you don't have the right to choose, you got me fucked up.
No, I totally agree with that. But you know what? Then there are people who choose not to because they're against it. Like for instance, I have a coworker. He's an anti-vax dude, but he's also got asthma. So he's in that margin of people who are at risk for COVID.
Right.
So I said to if they do come out with a vaccine for this, you're not going to get it, are you? He said. He kind of laughed and he said no. I said, you know what? And that's part of the problem, though. You know what I mean? Because you're afraid that they're going to do something or they're going to put something in it, but you're a marginal person, and you are at risk, and that puts the rest of us even more at risk.
Well, that's a good point I've heard. Instead of attacking people that are anti-vax, try to recognize it comes from a place of skepticism, which is a good thing. They're skeptical about the things the government. Right, they're skeptical of the things the government are telling them and enforcing on them, but present them with the proper information that thousands, if not more, of scientists have dedicated their life work to over the years, and this collective knowledge, the things that we've learned and the things we've been able to be able to do.
The numbers don't lie. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
When it comes to vaccines, it's all right, mumps. Where did it go? All right, it disappeared, and then we had a resurgence when all these people stopped vaccinating their children. They started having mumps cases out in California. All right, same thing with whooping cough.
Whooping cough,
whooping.
And these are things that were disappeared basically. Polio. They got rid of it. You don't.
Why is that?
You don't fucking see people in wheelchairs like you did before because of polio.
I remember learning in school.
You remember that first grade teacher, Miss Carlson?
Yeah, she was my teacher.
She had polio. She was a polio survivor.
I didn't know. I do remember that actually. Yeah, she kind of had she wasn't crippled, but she had some handicapness going on. But she could still walk. But she had a really bad hunch. Mrs. Carlson was my first grade teacher.
Yep.
I remember one time everyone did a drawing in class, and she came up to me and she was like, "Hey Matt, your drawing is really good. Can I use it as an example for the class and like show the future like what people should go for?" I was like, "Oh my God, you just melted my heart, Mrs. Carlson."
That's awesome.
And it made me feel really good. Brought up my self-esteem, you know.
Hell yeah.
Being a young artist, I always loved like painting and stuff like that. Obviously, I'm a musician now, but like, I was just painting last weekend. We went on an art retreat.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was really cool. But like, it's
bad
just
editing.
It had a bit of a bad ending. Someone tried to fight me because I asked Tyler for something in the room at 6:30 in the morning. And the room had 4 bunk beds.
4 bunk beds.
And he was very angry that I came in there at 6:30. You know, we were up.
What do you expect with 4 bunk beds?
But the other thing was...
And loud noises all
immediately,
night.
just like, I walked in, I was like, "Hey, Tyler, do you have the jewel?" And he's like, "Dude, what the fuck? I'm trying to sleep, man."
Aggressive.
Very aggressive. Very uncool. But the whole art part was super tight.
Yeah.
What we got going on in the news right now? Is that tear gas in Denver?
Yeah,
You guys want-
that's tear gas. That's my girlfriend's brother and his girlfriend are down at the
Your
Capitol.
girlfriend's brother?
And her,
His girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah.
I was like, wait, what?
Your aunt,
So they're
sister,
down
cousins.
at the Capitol right now.
I can't breathe.
This is the cat. Dude, look at that statue in front of the Capitol.
Whoa.
And all the spray paint. Tyler, you want to see this?
That looks like you're walking into a party.
What the
like an 80s movie, like that's what the house, like a rich
Dude,
house looks
everything's
like. First, like,
tagged.
everything's
They
graffiti.
They spray painted it downtown like crazy,
there's like-
They're
man.
really tearing it up.
They're
down
like-
there.
Yeah,
And
that's nuts.
Painting kiss faces on the
And
statues.
like I said,
Yeah,
these
it's
are the
insane.
hippies in Colorado. Now imagine what they're doing in Chicago and LA.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be crazy. And this
it's
is the thing,
getting
like, we really
crazy out
don't
here.
have that large of an African American community here. Like,
You
it's
know
mostly
what? It
white
used to
people.
be
There's not
bigger.
much
There's a
diversity.
large Hispanic community here.
Yeah,
It
that's for
was-
sure.
It was bigger, you know what, and a lot of the African American community has actually been kind of outplaced as far as I understand. In
Absolutely.
Colorado.
What's
Yeah,
that word?
for sure.
Gentrified.
Gentrified,
Yeah.
you know. As far as I understand, most of the black community has basically moved, is either stayed in 5 Points in that area downtown,
Right.
or off of Colfax and stuff, or is now out in Aurora.
Well, you know the
Yeah.
Highlands, like one of the nicest areas in Denver, right by downtown. I've talked to a lot of locals. It used to be one of the worst areas. It was
Really?
like really like.
Yeah.
See, and that's
For
what I'm
Denver,
saying
bad
about
for Denver.
same thing with the 5 Points. Like, you know, there's a fucking South Park episode. We're
Yeah.
the 5 Point Crips. We got out here to go smoke some bloods. You know what I mean? Like, and that was,
remember
that was a legit thing. You know, it's South Park. They're not just making shit up.
No.
They
Yeah.
talk real stuff. You know what I mean?
I love that we live in the location where South Park is based off
I
of.
know.
It's so silly, dude. I
Seeing
drove through
the
South
things
Park,
they
too.
reference.
It's just like it. You
Yeah.
know, like, or drove by it. You know, it's fucking silly.
It's awesome, man.
The first
Kenny's house is a real thing.
the first music festival I went to in Colorado was Sonic Bloom, and it was in South Park. Or no, it was in I forget what the name of the town.
You gotta go
Right-
through South
It was
Park.
right by South Park. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny, dude.
Craziness. Let's I just looked up this cool fact. What happened today back in history? The first flight over Pacific takes off from Oakland today, 1928.
That's pretty.
That's not even 100 years ago. Like,
The first
The first flight-
transatlantic flight, or
No, Trans
no,
Pacific.
Trans-Pacific.
yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
Pacific.
Where did they fly to?
They didn't say, but it went over
Come
to
on.
the Pacific. It doesn't say. Doesn't say.
We gotta find out where they flew to.
I'm gonna look up that.
Did it just like disappear in the middle of the ocean? Like what's that one chick?
First flight.
What's that?
Amelia
But we don't know.
Amelia
the names.
Earhart. It's fine time. There's some movie
We
with
got some moxie, eh?
Hilary Swank. She plays Amelia Earhart, and it was just me and my buddies were like just laughing so hard at this fucking movie, dude. Like, I don't know, she's easy to make fun of. I feel like Hilary Swank. sorry, Hilary
I
Swank.
can't even put a face to
Swankster.
that name.
Right. It's Australia.
It flew to Australia from Oakland.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yo, that's
Yeah.
a wild. That's a big.
1928. What is the date today? May 29th.
Yes.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
you can't even fly. You don't even fly like from Chicago or Colorado straight to Hawaii. You know what I mean? Like you stop over in LA.
You could, though.
You could realistically, but like that's a big flight. You know, like that's a huge journey.
That's big.
The longest flight I did was from LA to Guangzhou, China. And it was like a 14-hour flight, and that was a...
Was it miserable?
Well, my ex gave me some Xanax, and so I knocked out pretty hard. But at the same time,
like
but at the same time,
I ate half a Xan.
Yes, at the same time though, I felt like it's one of those sleeps where you feel like you've been awake the whole time. I was awake like every 20 minutes probably.
Yeah.
But so much time went by, I was like, oh, I must have definitely been sleeping for some times. But you know, you're trying to sleep in an airport chair.
Were
your head all uncomfortably.
So with long flights, are the chairs like way more comfy? It's more like bed-like.
Not way more. It's a little more. It leans back a little more. It's got the footrest.
Yeah.
But it's not that much better. But dude, Anne told me that one time she took a first class flight to Europe. You get your own private little pod area. You can like totally lay back.
Dude,
That's
I'm contemplating
nice.
getting a first class flight home for.
I want to do it at least once.
For next month, because I was like, well, we're just going to Chicago, and because flights are cheap right now.
Mm-hmm.
So like we were looking at Frontier, and we were looking at like the Frontier, like their seating and shit, and I was like, it's only $65 extra to sit up in first class.
Yeah.
Oh, but see, that's the thing though. Like, it's when you go over like a long flight, it's so much different.
It's gotta be big money.
First class, I feel like first class on a normal plane is barely worth it. You get like a little more leg room. You can like.
It's not worth
it
at all.
One glass of booze.
Yeah, it's not worth it. If you guys haven't seen this video, Casey Neistat, he's a YouTuber, vlogger, but this company gave him the most expensive, like it's a thing, obviously, but they give it to him for free so he could videotape it. It was the most expensive flight you could take. It's a $25,000 flight. He has his own room, robe, shower, like 5-course meals. Just madness, dude.
Most expensive as shit.
No, it's Casey Neistat actually, but 2 Chainz most expensive shit. That shit is funny.
This is just one time I heard
the water one.
This is just one time I heard this, but I heard you can get a private jet flight for like $10,000. You know, so at that point, I feel like you may as well just do that.
Yeah.
But still, the amount of amenities that you got with that flight is probably like next level.
Yeah.
See, like, and if I was gonna fly private, dude. Like, I want to do it with all the fucking bells and whistles. Like, I want to be able to bring whatever the fuck I want on the plane. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I might as well own the goddamn plane
for sure
at that point. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's like, I don't want to fuck around with anybody or anything.
Nothing.
If I got money to shell out and I can fly big dollars in the fucking air like that. Like,
do you know George Carlin, the comedian?
Yeah. I
heard, like, in his heyday, he had his own private jet. And he would be like doing coke on his own jet, just like showing up.
That's what I was gonna say. What was the movie with Motley Crue?
The Dirt.
The Dirt. Yeah, they just had waiters like on their jet with like just coke lines busted out on a silver platter. That's awesome.
I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
How long
we are at 42 minutes.
Should we call our first podcast?
I think that was good. That was nice. That was nice.
You know,
a lot more coming for sure.
Yeah, this was really fun. Josh Rice, thank you so much for joining us, man. It's been awesome. Be sure to check us out at Privileged Cavemen on YouTube and our Facebook.
We'll make a website by the time this comes out.
Yeah, we actually haven't made it yet. This is how early this podcast is, but
we're
by the time
talking
you
to you
hear
in the
it,
future.
obviously you will have that.
Yes.
So thank you so much for listening, everybody. We love you.
Let's get it.
All right, guys.
That's a wrap.